So crowdfunding.
We are going to have a chat about crowdfunding because we're not experts, but we know a lot.
I mean, I've done not bad.
Pretty good. You've done very well.
Well, I've had. Oh, there was a glimpse of Clover's there when I moved. I live in a flat with a wife and a toddler, so I've done all right, but I've had a mix of hits and misses, and I think that's important. I think it's good to know when it doesn't fly, maybe stop, maybe.
Yeah.
But like I said to you, and I say this to everybody, and I have another friend who crowdfunds on occasion as well for smaller amounts, and I said to him as well. I said it's a job. It's a job. If you say I'm going to crowdfund for whatever, we'll talk about TV and film because that's what we know, right? So you say we're going to crowdfund for a TV show or a pilot or a
Let's make up a product. So every time we reference something, we focus on that product. So I'll pluck something out of your imaginative mind.
No, we'll do Faithful because it's the easiest one, right? No, we'll do Cops and Monsters. Cops and Monsters is a great example, right? Because that shows how much hard work that was. So for Cops and Monsters, if I wanted to make Cops and Monsters and pay the cast and crew something, I would write the script. I would break it all down. So how many actors, how many crew, how many locations, props, costumes, food, editing, all that stuff, every element of that. And I'd go, right, that will cost me £2,000 to make that episode. Not a lot of money. Barely money. I would then have to start a Kickstarter campaign for maybe 30 days, and you'd have to put all your perks on. So like chuck in a $5, cost of a coffee, or you'd be like, get your name mentioned on set, have a character named after you, come and be in an episode, come and have a line in the episode, or get a signed copy of the script. Or physical perks are the bane of my life.
yeah.
Like, get a t-shirt, get a mug, like whatever you think will convince the lovely public, I want to help you out, and in return, I'll take a Cops and Monsters mug off you. The amount of times people message me and went, I still have my Cops and Monsters mug, but it's broke. I don't have any more. I don't have any more Cops.
It's not a life. That's not a mug for life, is it? Really?
Guarantee. But so you do all that, and then you're on Twitter and Facebook and Instagram and wherever else. It was smaller back then.
It was easier and smaller. Yeah.
And you'd have to tweet every single day. We're running a campaign. We're raising money. We want to make this episode. We want to pay our cast and crew. Please help us. And you'd have to do that pretty much every hour on the hour. And you'd have to hope that your own cast and crew would do the same.
Yep, which I'm sure happened. No? Oh, you're shaking your head there. I'm guessing that's a no.
It was half and half, right? Yep. And I get it. That's fine. They're coming to do a job. They're coming to do their bit for 2 days and then go home, right? I get that. So you're on your own, more or less, unless you have a Stuart Bannerman who is waving a flag in the corner, going, "Oh, team." Yeah. You were sharing, and you had access to the Twitter and the Facebook and the Instagram, and you were doing your bit. You took a lump with me, and every hour on the hour, like the amount of I was in a few different relationships when I was making Cops and Monsters, and it takes your time. You take 30 days raising the money, then you spend 2 days filming the episode, then you spend maybe 3 to 4 weeks editing the episode, sound design, music, special effects. We had quite a lot of special effects, color grading, editing, and then you get that out into the world, into everywhere. But then you have to make the next episode. So you've already got the scripts, and then you're back to Kickstarter, Indiegogo, whatever. And once again, you're like, right, coffee mugs, t-shirts, sets, and you're back at it. And we made 10 episodes, and we had to do that 10 times. And when we did all of series 1, and we had a writer's room for series 2, so we had Debbie Moon, Philip Florence, Simon Underwood, Debbie Moon, Laura Anderson, James, and me. And we all wrote our episodes, and we went to crowdfund all of series 2 in one go. Didn't happen. So we're like, okay, we'll focus on Debbie's, because Debbie's the biggest name out of all of us. Debbie has a huge following with her TV shows. That'll help. So we need $4,000 to do Debbie's episode. Didn't do it. Didn't have the goal. And we're like, right, well, we didn't get the money to shoot for 3 days. Let's try and raise money to shoot for 2 days. And then we lowered the budget and we got the money for 2 days. We went like a like a group of wild horses. We went and shot like 19 pages in a day. Don't shoot 19 pages in a day. That's a one-way trip. That's a one-way trip to have people hate you. So you will, and then so we did that, and we released our episode, and then we're like, right, now we're going to raise money for episode 2. Didn't do it. No, didn't hit the goal. Tried it again, didn't hit the goal. Lowered the money, didn't hit the goal. And we tried it maybe 4 or 5 times, and we're like, right, okay, cool. The Cops and Monsters bubble has burst. We got 10 episodes out of it, and nobody else was backing it. So we let it go. And I think I was a bit stubborn. I was like, no, it will never die. I'm writing an audio series of it. but
yep.
However many years later. But I think it's important to go, right, if the money isn't here, and if you need the money, then don't find another way.
Really? Oh no. Yeah.
But I will never say to somebody, don't make your project.
No, not at all.
Like, yeah. I would never actively encourage somebody not to make it, because it's good to make it. But if you can't find that money, then you will need to find another way to make that happen. Whether it's not, you can convince casting crew to do it for free, or go get sponsorship from businesses, or go get, or whatever. But it's a job.
I mean, there is this weird belief, and I've seen campaigns in the past month or so that go, I've got an idea in my brain. The idea is great. It'll look amazing on screen. I can get some cast. I've got a name. I'm just going to set up my campaign. I can go away and do some other stuff now, and I'll come back and I've hit my budget. That doesn't work. No,
and we've seen it. You and I have. You've seen it, and I've seen it.
Yeah. You know, campaigns that don't do any updates on their. We'll get onto which you think's better, the better platform in a second, but you can leave updates so you can go. We've just got some cast. We've got some artwork. Put them on your crowdfunding page. Yeah. I've seen campaigns that just don't. No updates in their entire run of the campaign, which shows to me that the person set the page up and just left it.
Yeah, and went, oh, why have we not got my £45,000?
Yeah, yeah.
I thought that we're naming them over there.
No, I was actually thinking of a different one, but different campaign. Like, so there's 2. So at least there's 2 that we know. You know one, I know one. We both know each other's.
When we were doing Faithful, and it was a backer who said, "Do your updates. Are you drinking Iron Brew?"
I am.
Yep. Out of Scott.
There we go.
When we'll see.
Yep.
Anyway, I was drinking Iron Brew earlier.
Yep. But, diet Iron Brew Extra. I don't know why they call it. I don't know why they call it extra, because there's less in it, because there's no sugar in it. So I don't know. That's another podcast episode.
Mildly better for you, I suppose, for an orange coloured drink that isn't orange.
Yeah.
But it was a backer on Indiegogo, I think. It might have been Kickstarter. I used them both, and they were like, "No, do active updates because on the campaign, because it I think it does something with the algorithm. I cannot wait for it to it will do something with the algorithm, and it helps, and it does.
Mm-hmm.
So whether it's like a bit of concept art, a script page, a casting, like you said, meet the crew. Like, you have a crew, so you can go meet Lucy, she's our director, meet Lindsay, she's a line producer, meet Val, she's a producer, meet you. And a combination of video, text, and image.
Yeah. Show
people what you're doing, get them excited. You have to be excited about what you're making in order to convince people that they should also be excited.
Yeah.
They must be so desperate to see what you're doing that they're willing to put a tenner in.
Yeah.
Or in our case, $8,500.
Yeah. Either lots of tenors, which add up to the $8,500, or one lump of $8,500, which you know.
So Simon Webster is a producer in Faithful now, because he saw, and because we announced that Kimberly Nixon was in Faithful, and Kimberly Nixon shared that video on her Instagram. Simon Webster saw it. That led him to the Faithful Instagram. He watched all of our videos that Lucy, Val, and I had done to say, this is why we're so passionate about this. He saw our passion, and he put the money in that made that film happen. Now, that's unusual. That's the exception, not the rule.
Yeah. But it's crowdfunding is a marathon. It's not a quick sprint, is it? It's like you'd mentioned earlier, it's a job doing it, and it really is. It's exhausting. I feel about crowdfunding the same way I feel about mobile phones. I love them, but I also hate them. And kind of equal. It's crowdfunding is exhausting. You will be so tired. And I don't run my own ones. I help other people run theirs. I'm not one of these little rats that come out going, I will help you with your campaign if you give me money. They do my flipping nutting. I do it because I know the people and I help them. So.
Let's talk about that, because that's important, because some people might think that's genuine. And the bots will find you the minute you mention the word crowdfunding on any of your platforms, and they went for you specifically, even though you were not running our campaign.
I got one this morning. I got one within the past hour from somebody called Brian going, how's your campaign going? Yeah. I'm not running a campaign. I shared somebody else's campaign link, but they will come out of the woodwork. Yeah,
these sometimes genuine looking people will come out and say, hi, my name's Brian. I'm a crowdfunding expert. For $100, I'll get you $100,000. Don't fall for it.
No.
Don't. They're not. It's not organic. It's not real. It's fake. It's a scam. They just want your money. And even if you do your due diligence, and yes, it might work the first time. They might have it set up so if you give them 100, you get 200 back, and because they might just put in 200, and you go, oh my god, it worked. I'll give them more money and I'll get more money back. Don't.
No.
You're starting with zero. Don't gamble 100 of what you don't have.
Give the money to somebody like me, a human who will tweet the hell out of your campaign for like a month.
A reasonable coffee account that says, for this amount of money I do this, for this amount of money I do that, for that. Pay a person. Pay a person who's passionate about film, who cares about indie filmmakers, who want to see you succeed.
Also, I would think if you're going to go down the route of paying a person, speak to the person. Yeah. Not typey, because the odds are they're probably a bot, but do like this.
Yeah.
I'd be fine with that. If somebody went, I want to give you some money, but can we jump on Skype for 20 minutes and you can tell me what you're going to do? Yeah. I'll be all right with that. And that's not even an idea I thought of before. Now I have, so it's now getting added on. But yeah, crowdfunding is just like, I don't know if it's easier now than it was then.
No, I think it's just as hard.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say that. I think I came up with a theory a while ago that it was like overpopulated, but I don't think that's the case. I think it's really difficult when you're not. I've done Greenlit, and I'd raised 10 grand on Greenlit. We did Indiegogo. We raised about 3 grand on Indiegogo. We did Kickstarter, and I think we must have raised about 6, 7, 8 grand on there as well. Keep in mind that we had a teaser trailer and a film and post production running those campaigns to make that happen, and it's all varying. You said, you're asking me what one is the best one. I think they all have their own perks and minuses. Because with Indiegogo, you can say whatever money I raise, I keep. So if you say I need 45 grand and you raise a tenner, that's not helpful to you.
No.
That's by the time Indiegogo take their fees, you're getting about £3.50.
Yeah, because the percentages, I mean, they do vary, the percentages, so there's no point in us going, this is how much percentage it is. No, but it's something like a 3% or a 4%. It's a small-ish percent, but they take it.
Well, they take it, and then they charge you either the PayPal fee or a credit card fee.
So if you do an Indiegogo campaign, for example, or a Kickstarter one, because they're probably similar percentages, I guess, and you hit your target of 10 grand, and you go, wow, I've got my 10 grand. How much, I guess, do you think you would end up with in your account after all?
I'm not going to guess. I'm going to tell you. Guess, save yourself. This is me exposing myself. So Greenlit, for example, and this is just transparency, because we're paying all of our cast and crew minimum wage, right?
Yeah.
After transparency, so we raised 10,200. Our Greenlit fee was 510. Our credit card fee was £180 and 57 pence. So we raised £10,200 and we walked away with £9,509 and 43 pence.
Yep. So if you need 10 grand to fund your film, you need to raise. Yeah, you need to sort of raise more than that.
Yeah.
Once you take the fees and stuff, because a lot of people look at campaigns and they go, oh, Fraser's after 10 grand. He's hit his 10 grand. I want to throw some money in. You're like, oh, no, because the fees have got to be paid for as well. So always aim a little bit above what you actually need.
But we're also raising money right now, and it's not going as well. And there'll be reasons for that, but we're raising money so we can get our singer Josie and 5 musicians and to rent a music studio for 3 days to record a song, all bells and whistles, and we need 6,800, and I think I've raised about 350 something.
Yeah.
But I've set that as a whatever we raise we get, because that money will help. And I can take that money to one of our private investors and say, right, here's how much money I've got, here's how much money I need. And they will, in all likelihood, cover that. But I'm also going to go to Creative Scotland and say, right, how do I get more money? Here's what I have ready. How do I get more? So I'm not worried about that. But I've been doing this since 2013. So I know what I can work with and what I can't work with. What I can't abide is people. I see it more and more. I need this amount of money to do my film. Right. So what happens if you don't raise that money? Well, I'm still going to make it anyway. So what?
Yeah. And then they put it on the thing going, if we don't hit our target, we're still going to make it. So why would I then donate to your film if I know you're going to make it anyway?
Yeah.
I don't understand. That's the thing I don't understand. And also the other one, I'll use the music one as just as an example. So I see a campaign. I'm like, oh, what's this person raising money for? Oh, they're trying to raise £52,000. Why? So we can record a song. I'm not an economist. I don't think it costs 52 grand to do. And you see that a lot. I've seen ones for somebody running a campaign for thousands of pounds, like 10, 15 grand to do a sizzle reel for a trailer. And I'm like, what? I didn't even know a sizzle reel for a trailer. I knew what a sizzle reel was, but I didn't know there was a sizzle reel for a trailer, which you see some weird campaigns out there.
We did a sizzle reel for Origins and we raised like 22 grand. But that was in lockdowny times. That was in COVID times where everyone was at home not doing anything. And I set that up so I could get the people in the industry work for 3 days because there was no work in the industry. And I know I'm not like, here I am on my horse, here I come riding into It was more just like I was also at home bored.
But you do your bit. Yeah.
Yeah, well, that's important. But so I thought, I was like, well, if I can raise 22 grand for a sizzle reel that nobody will see, apart from producers and streamers and whatnot, and that sizzle reel has got us in the room with some people, which so it's proved its worth. But like, well, doing a 15-minute short film for the same amount of money will be no problem at all. It was a problem at all.
Well, but I mean, your sizzle reel was for a film.
Yeah.
Your exactly. Sizzle reel. I've seen somebody raising money for a trailer for a script, and it's like, what? yeah, I've seen that one. It's just like, I'm not chucking money into that.
Get away.
Get out of it.
What's the biggest? Like, you might say what I've just said, but what's the biggest faux pas that you've seen in people, both on the crowdfunding page itself and in their promotion or lack thereof? What do you think? I wouldn't have done that.
I think not enough sharing is a big thing. I remember years ago, I was helping somebody just do their crowdfunding thing. And I remember messaging the guy going, can I just give you a tip? Because I'm an expert on social media. Because I've been doing this for 2 years now. I know what I'm doing. And you're sharing too much. You're kind of spamming all your followers and you're going to upset them. And he came back and he went, no, you need to do that. You need to get as close to upsetting your followers as possible without upsetting them. And it's true. You can't just share one a day. I'll just send my tweet out. You need to, and I'm not saying you should do one every 10 seconds because that's over the line. But you may lose 5-10 followers. But your sharing of the tweets will go in front of all the other followers, and hopefully a bunch of them will start throwing money in. So it's just get to the point where you feel really uncomfortable about the amount of shares that you're doing, and just pause then. So just before you go, I can't do it, I'm spamming all my mates.
I think
there's that.
It's also really important to, when you've got backers, not to spam them, but you can update backers specifically. So you can go back to your backers and say, thanks for your amazing support, because it's true. Here's where we're up to. Here's a photo, here's a still, here's a video. Here's how close we are. Can you share that with your network? Because it's not just your immediate network that you've got on social media that you're going, please, 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 please. You also have to get into their networks to put it out to their network. So you're kind of like bouncing off into different networks. And so, for example, and there was a guy at Expo North who I had an hour with, and he's like a master in crowdfunding. He teaches it. So I had an hour, and I was like, what can he teach me? I've been doing this a while, but I'll hear him out. And he taught me things I didn't know. And it's like, right, well, you're doing a short film about a dog, like it's a fairy dog, right? Try and get into groups that are like dog rehoming or dog charities or dog foods or dog products. Get onto their networks and say, you're doing a thing, can you share it? And then hopefully they share it out to their 20,000 people. He goes, it's Scottish folklore. Get into all the Scottish folklore people, get on their Twitters and say, you're doing a thing, can they share it in their network? And when you look at Scottish folklore Twitter people, they've got like 13, 14, 15,000 followers. So if they like what that you're doing and they share it, you're into their network, which then could lead into another network. And then you go, well, you've got Gaelic in it. So why don't you hit up the Scottish Gaelic and see if they can do it? And you're like, I don't have Gaelic in it. So you go to that, and it's, don't just sit on your box and your network to your I was gonna jump ahead to our next time.
Yep.
Into your echo chamber you shall scream forever.
Yes.
But and then you argue with your own voice bounce back in it. But try and get out into the other places. Like try and do that, because it can't just be you and your followers. It has to be everybody.
And the thing is, it's like those suggestions are the most simple, common sense things ever. And yet, I bet both of us, I'm like, I think of that. Damn it. It's so simple, but yeah, you don't, you know.
You're doing a horror film, so you want to get in touch with horror critics and horror reviewers and horror filmmakers, like, and like, you know, your big horror stars, and you want to say, I'm doing a film, please share it. I'm making a Scottish product. I went after well-known Scottish people like Robert Carlyle and Tony Curran and Neil Gaiman, and I was like, can you share this? And they did.
Nice.
So it's and I think you read it, you did it recently, you saw it somewhere, and it's like, if you want £10,000, here's how many backers you need to make that happen. Like if you're saying, give me a fiver, what's your hit rate? What does your hit rate have to be? What's your conversion rate of please give us money to 100,000 people to get £10,000?
Yeah. It's exhaustion. That's what it is.
Madness, actual madness, right?
Yeah.
But it goes back to, this is a job.
Yeah.
And
it really is.
And I'm not saying, and you're not saying, don't do it.
No, not at all.
I was at a panel at the Glasgow Film Festival. It was for Scotland's short film funding group called Short Circuit. Hilariously, no longer a thing. But they were saying, basically, there was two women on stage who'd made short films before, and one of them done crowdfunding. And the message was, if you're not successful in getting funding from a funding body like the BFI, Screen Scotland, whatever, Film Cymru, Creative England, don't do it.
Don't make your film.
Wait until you can.
Wow. But then
don't do crowdfunding. It's too much hard work and you won't get anywhere. And I'm like,
wow, motivational or what?
I fudged up somewhere. So, and if I wasn't so I mean, I hate the film industry here anyway. I think it's knackered, so badly beyond knackered, and the wrong people are in the wrong places, and the right people are not there where they need to be. And there's some people that think they're in the right place, but they're actually making the situation worse. But I would never tell you not to do it.
No,
but it's work.
Of course it is.
Have to be, and I'm not saying to you, don't do this. Do it, because it's the best thing about it is that you're building an audience. You're building, like, so we had like 100 backers on Greenlit and maybe like 100 and so backers on Kickstarter. Well, so we pre-built like an audience of 300 people that are going to want to watch our short film when it's done. And they might tell their 300 friends, they might tell their 300 friends, and so forth. Some of them I don't want to watch it, but
they should. They should watch it.
But then when you go and do the next campaign, your next project, you've already got 300 people that you can go to and go, thank you so much for supporting me last time. I'm doing this now if you're interested.
Yeah. And you see that, you can do that through your Indiegogo dashboards and stuff. You know, I get updates from Dead Air about fright seers and all that sort of stuff. So you mentioned faux pas. One faux pas which I have suffered from is if you're going to be running a crowdfunding campaign, don't just tag people in all the time.
No.
Because that gets really annoying. And I'm saying that as somebody who has been tagged in constantly on multiple platforms, Facebook, Instagram, X/Twitter, by the same campaign that I did an article for, because I thought, you know what, I've got a few minutes, I'll pimp this campaign out for them. And then for like 30 days, multiple times every single day, I would get tagged in. Oh, somebody said, oh no, they've just tagged me in something that isn't for me, just presuming, oh, I'll tag him in and he'll reshare it for me. You will, if you do that all the time, you will annoy them. If the person says, for example, I'll say to you, Fraser, if you put a tweet out for your faithful thing, you're more than welcome to tag me in. Right? If I say that to you, by all means, tag me in all the time. I don't mind, because I've given you permission. But this guy didn't even ask, and it got so annoying that I wouldn't reshare all the things I was being tagged in on. I just ignored them, which is the worst thing that can happen to a crowdfunding campaign, is to just totally be ignored by people who can help the campaign.
What you need to start going back with is saying, I'm more than happy to help you. Here's a link to my coffee page. Here's how much it costs for me to do social media sharing for your campaign.
Yep. They threw in £3.
Not enough.
And so it's like, I get it, and that's fine. I'm if people want to throw £3 at me, £4, I'm all right with that. I have no objection. Go to my coffee page. But yeah, it wasn't worth the headache for the amount of that. And that was way after. That wasn't like £3. Then the tagging began. This was like a month of tagging, and then £3 got thrown in.
Out of curiosity, did they reach their goal?
I think they did. Because it wasn't a huge goal. I think it was like 15 grand or 10 grand or something, which
that's not.
But yeah, it got very, very annoying.
I got in the reverse of that. I got swept up into like a mini collective of filmmakers who were all raising money for their short films at the same time.
Oh.
One of them, there was another couple, and it was quite nice. We were all sharing thing, which was quite nice. So we were getting into each other's net, and that's what was good network. We were getting into the other person's network, and I know it can be a bit, oh well, they're asking for money and you're asking for money. Like, who should I give my money to? Who's your favorite? Like, you've got two children, who are your favorite, and they both run off in separate directions. You have to very quick pick who's your favorite. But you can chuck in a fiver to one and a fiver to another, and it makes a difference. Or you can chuck in a fiver to one and share the other. Like, or free will, do each one. But
don't just click like.
Oh, like is the what?
What's the point in that? Just share it, retweet it.
I want to troll a troll. I'll click like in the comment.
Yep.
Or I'll say, great, have a lovely day. Have a nice day. Let's save that for there. But it was nice to be part of that. But yeah, ask the question, guys. Like, hi Stuart, can you please share my thing? No problem. Thanks for asking. And even when you do share it, do they say thanks?
No, and that's a very important thing. And I make a point of only helping, and by helping I mean typing and retweeting, because I haven't got any money. Is a set amount of campaigns at any one time. So I'm not like, you go onto my Twitter timeline, it's not just wall-to-wall Indiegogo campaigns. I will usually do 2, maybe. So at the minute, it's yours for the song, and then there's another one for Frenzy Moon, which is a werewolf thing, which is a filmmaker I know. Never spoke to him, but I like him and I know him and stuff. So any others that come in, I'm like, no, you got to wait until one of these runs out, and then I'll do it, because I don't want to saturate all my followers and stuff. But the Frenzy Moon guy, Greg, is doing it really well, because he publicly thanks the backers with a nice little banner over Facebook. The one slip up he is doing is when he puts out the Facebook update going, thank you to Debbie Moon for chucking in £10. And then he doesn't put the Indiegogo link in that banner. He adds it as a separate comment underneath his posting. And you're like, well, if I click share, people are going to see the banner. They're not going to see your Indiegogo link. So that's one little thing that he's not doing. But he is thanking everybody, which is hugely important. Recognition, because money's not easy to get, as we all know on this planet at the minute.
Fright Seers was doing that. I'm not. I wasn't doing that. But I did. I didn't thank everyone one at a time, but I did. I do often say, because of the backers, we're able to do this.
Yeah.
So we've got the second assembly cut's coming in for Faithful, and the editor Tom sent us like the first 5 minutes. So we're a wee bit away. But when we get a trailer out, I'll share that far and wide, and I will make sure to thank the backers who made it.
Yeah. I mean, you don't necessarily have to do it individually, but just some sort of acknowledgement for these people that are putting money in. You go, thanks to everybody who supports, and you do that because I've seen you do it. So,
but it's not hard to say thank you. It's not hard to say please can you. It's not, it's none of these things.
no.
Like, it's just common courtesy. Don't assume the entitlement. Like, I don't have to thank you. Now you chose to retweet it. Like, just it's a community. Like, and this is what I keep saying about Faithful. It's like, yes, I want to take it to film festivals because I want to get the BAFTA qualifying ones and the Austin qualifying ones, but I want to take it to Comic Cons. I want up at, like, not just in the UK, but certainly not Scotland, but like, and I want to take it to like WonderCon and New York Comic Con and San Diego Comic Con, because that's where the fans are. And if you want, like, we're making films and TV shows for fans, put it into the hands of fans, not to the point where they can gatekeep it, but these are the people that you want to watch what you're doing and support you and go, I love that. I'm going to go tell my mate about it. That's what you're after. So try and remember to thank your fans.
Exactly. In one way or the other. If you want to do it individually, fine. If you want to do it as a collective, fine. If you want to just do it as an update on your Indiegogo page, thank you to everybody who's chipping in. It's absolutely amazing. Do it that way. There's no sort of right or wrong way, but just show a bit of humanity to the people that are being nice to you and resharing, and not just thank the people that are donating, but thank those that hang on a minute, every time I put something out, that person reshares it. Thank them. Do it. Just be nice. It's nice to have somebody go, do you know what? I appreciate what you're doing. It's quite nice.
Not hard.
No. For some it is. They don't do it.
And they'll watch this and they'll go, yeah, it's a great idea.
And some of the ones who are doing the things that we're like, don't do that, they'll be like, no, yeah, I don't like it when people do that. You're doing it. They don't realize that they're like, oh, I always say thank you. No, you don't.
What was I going to say to you? Yeah, so Jessica Fox at Expo North, they're like a Highlands and Islands group who, anything to do with creativity, arts, theatre, film, whatever, they are the people up on the islands. And they're very helpful with me. I've snuck in the back door with them because all of my projects take place kind of Highlands and Islands. Because I've spent years doing things that take place in the Central Belt of Glasgow. But she told me this great thing where there's a guy, must have been America, because why not? And he's doing like a dinosaur kind of horror movie. And the way he got funded is that he was given super fans like a part in it where they would get killed by the dinosaur, and they got to write how their character died.
Wow, it's expensive.
And paying about $250,000 to be.
Wow.
But
wow.
Sure.
Where's your take on people? Because I know Mick Garris, I've seen he gets annoyed when it's like, so, and I'm going to use Faithful as an example, just going, hey, so you can have a role in my film. All you got to do is pay me £5,000. And Mick Garris, he don't like that. He doesn't like people paying to be in a movie. I understand why, because it's a good way to get into a movie. So we don't necessarily agree on that. But it's things like that and associate producers. Give me 10 grand, you'll be an associate producer. Is that a hindrance? I mean, I get why somebody would like an associate producer credit, but
associate producer credit is only £100.
Well, there you go. It's cheap. Yeah, gets you on the IMDb ladder.
Exactly. Our maximum producer credit is £1,000, and it's a producer credit, and the exec, I think, is like 250, 500 or something. So we don't ask for an extortionate amount of money, but we get the money that we need to make our film, and they get to be in IMDb. It makes no difference to us. It just shows them as somebody who's back.
They're helping to produce the film by giving the money to produce it. Would be my.
It's also a title. Like, it's also they go. It's a bragging right. They're in the pub on Friday and they go, "Oh, I helped produce this film." That's not untrue, but you also have zero say on what's happening, unless you're a Simon Webster and you put in 8.5 grand. And he's great, and he came up from with him and his daughter. We wrote a part for his daughter to be in it. At the end of the movie, she gets one like, but the little girl Susie wanted to. She's already done a bit of like stage work and wanted to explore that a bit more. So that worked. That was great.
Yeah.
That experience. And she was great, and she looks great. Like she's a wee cutie pie, and she was great on the thing. So that worked out great. And we had people in Cops and Monsters who'd like be that we always needed extras. We always needed like officers in the police station, so we always needed bodies. And it was great, and everyone comes for an afternoon or a morning, whatever, and they get to be on a set for a bit. If that's what you want to do,
yeah.
If you're not in the industry and you fancy yourself as a bit of a guy or a woman who wants to just be on the set for an afternoon, that's a great thing to do.
And the thing is, for years, there's always been different types of producers. There's been a sort of producer that's on set every day, arranging. You know, I've watched some of the behind Valerie, another one, sorting locations out and all that sort of stuff. And then there's the other sort of producer who goes, "I'll sign a check. Here you go." It's always been a thing. There's always been different types of producers.
Tell that you've been watching, you've been taking the behind the scenes for Faithful, and
What
Valerie does.
Yeah, because she talks about that. You know, putting out fires. I don't think she meant literal fires. I'm hoping not. I've not got to those behind the scenes yet. If there's actual fires in, but
that's that tree explosion. But and we lost the runner, Davey. That's a shame. Anyway, but we we didn't. It's fine.
All right, okay.
You'll be walking, but like it's yeah, you're right. There's a guy who signs a check, a girl who signs, woman that signs a check, or it's someone who like it's fine. And that's Mick Garrison, cool. If that's not his cup of tea, but it's fine. He has his opinion. He's given his reason why he doesn't like it. Cool. End of story.
Yeah. And the thing is, it's like Mick Garris is one of the nice guys in the world. He says something once and he goes, "I'll move on now."
Yeah.
Yeah. And again, we'll cover that in a different episode. He doesn't feel the need to go, right, and I need to attack everybody who does sign up for that. So
I have to read to you.
It ties in with the, actors should never work for nothing. There's an argument for yes, they should if they want to get on the film ladder and appear and stuff. I've been in things for free. I've done lots of work for free over the years. It works for me, gets me on the ladder, and then will hopefully enable me to get paid for stuff. So that's a whole nother topic. But
I worked with Elaine C. Smith.
Amazing.
Yeah. Mary Doll and I've Desert, which is always one of your favorites.
It is. She's amazing. Yeah, I still watch that show to this day.
Battle Queen. She's a legend. I love her. And we got her in to play the mum of a character in Night is Day, the movie, because we wanted to put in names to give us a bit of credibility. And Elaine comes along for a day and does her scene. She's brilliant, but lovely. She's just like, "Hello, it's I, Elaine." And does her scenes, and she does her behind the scenes for it. And I'll have to try and find her behind the scenes to send it to you, because I think and she called me out for not giving the mum a name. And she goes, "A note to the writer, Fraser, by the way." And I was like, "Oh," and ever since I've given, no matter what part it is, you get a name.
Yeah.
And another guy talks about that. Mal Young, who BBC guy.
Yeah.
The Doctor Who. He said, no matter how small the part is, give them a name, because then it gives the person playing that part a character, and it lets, like, you walk on and you go, "Bin Man 2."
I was werewolf cult member in Bad Moon Rising.
But if you were O'Reilly,
I would have a backstory in my head going, yeah.
Oh, anyway, so she comes in, and then we work with her, and then we need to bring her in for ADR, because so audio dialogue replacement or auto dialogue replacement. Basically, you have to dub over what's already on screen to make it better, because you might have had a problem with the sound on the day. We had about 70% of bad sound on Night Stay the movie. You can't tell because of good ADR. So Elaine comes in, does her ADR. We have a bit of a laugh about something that nobody outside of Glasgow would understand. We had a good laugh about that. She went, was that good or was that crap? Or have you got someone waiting in the wings? And I said, "Oh yeah, Dorothy Paul is going to come and do it in a minute." She burst out laughing. Look up Dorothy Paul when you can. Legend of a woman. Anyway, so Elaine pulls me by the side and says, "Did my agent tell you that I don't want a fee for this?" And I was like, no. And she goes, no, I've told them to drop the fee. I don't want one.
Wow. That's going to be rare. Certainly nowadays, that's never going to happen, is it?
Saying that, the amount of actors, agents I've had to chase recently to pay them for faithful is hilarious. Some will email you. So we filmed on like the Sunday, and I got an email on Monday. Here's the invoice. And like, okay, here you go. Some I have to a month later. I was like, can I get the invoice details so I can pay your client? But I saw quite a bad tweet from an actress in Scotland who has been in things. She's not an unknown actress. She's not a super famous actress. And she went on a rant about people asking her to be in their films for free. And she was not happy about that. And she went on to her reasonings behind that. I've got bills to pay. I'm a professional actress. Stop asking me, da 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 da. And people were jumping on and agreeing. And I was like, ah, in principle, I agree, but you're being snotty.
Yeah.
If you are in the industry and you're quite established, people coming to you who are not established are looking up to you and saying, can you please help me and be in my film? Rather than you jumping down their throats, say to them, and this is how it should be done, I can't work for free, etc. Or speak to my agent, here's my agent's name.
Yep.
You go to the agent and then you can hash it out with them. And you might get them, you might not. I no longer, 9 times out of 10, I will no longer go straight to a person and say, will you be in my film? If I do, I'll say, can I get your agent's details? I'm casting a project. Yeah. I'd love to have you involved. I don't just say, will you be in it? And that's the way it should be done. But if I'm an 18-year-old or a 20-year-old and I've never made a film before, and I go, oh my God, I love Angelina Jolie. I love her work. I want her to be in my film. I don't know why I'm putting on this character. It's
O'Reilly. It's a new O'Reilly, the character.
And I message Angelina and I go, Angelina, I love you. Blah, blah, blah. Will you please be in my film? And she goes, I'll never work again. I'll be right. I'm done. Sorry to piss you off. But also to do it publicly, I think was a bit snotty. And Robert Downey Jr. did it as well. He's like, there's no benefit of me being in your indie film. It's like, well, you can help someone out. Like a Robert Downey Jr. 2-minute cameo will massively help a film.
Yeah.
But whatever.
But also Robert Downey Jr. way back had no career, and then Kiss Kiss Bang Bang came out, and then not long after that we got Iron Man. So it's like, come on, Robert, chill out.
With Kimberly, I went through her. I followed Kimberly on Instagram and I messaged her and I said, I've got this short film. I think you'd be great to play the mum. Can I speak to your agent?
Yeah.
And she went, yeah, here's my agent's details.
Brilliant.
Kristen Chen, right? Massive Broadway star, massive Hollywood star. She was Glinda the Good Witch in Wicked, whatever. She was the first Glinda, massive star. And I tweeted at her. She followed me back, and I said, "Do you want to come and be in Cops and Monsters?" And she was, "I'd love to be in Cops and Monsters. Here's my agent details." Didn't happen because the episode didn't happen.
Yeah.
But we talk to each other even now. She messaged, like, it was Siobhan's 30th birthday last year, and Siobhan loves musicals and loves Wicked. And I said, "Can you please send Siobhan a video message wishing her happy birthday? She'll get such a kick out of it." And she stopped in the middle of the night in her car and she goes, "Siobhan, Kirsten here, in the middle of nowhere, it's dark. I just want to wish you a happy birthday. You're getting married to Fraser. Happy birthday." People can be that person.
Yeah.
Be that.
And it's a personal choice. And if somebody asked me to do like, oh, we want you to act in my movie, but we're not going to pay you. So yes or a no, isn't it? If I say yes, that's fine. If it's a no, it's a no. It's so what's your sort of ducktail or dovetail or whatever, the crowdfunding thing. What are your 2 or 3 biggest tips for crowdfunding?
Make sure that you are raising the exact amount of money that you need, taking into consideration your fees. All good crowdfunding websites in their FAQs or about section will tell you their fees, or you can Google Indiegogo fees, Kickstarter fees, Greenlight fees. Share. What I do is that I will pre-launch a campaign. So I'll be like on the internet, I'll be like, okay, on Friday we're launching this campaign to raise this much money for this. But then I will already launch it on Kickstarter, and I will privately message people who backed me before or who are in the project or who will be in the project or who are no will support it or will share it. And I'll say, here it is. If you can chuck in some money, great. But regardless, can you share it? So when you launch it I'm giving away a game. So when you launch it on the Friday, you've already got like $1,000 in there. And mentality wise, people will go, oh, people are already putting money in this. I want to see it get over the finish line. I'm going to put money in that too. So that's number 2. And number 3, don't give up. It's a job. And like any good job worth doing, do it right. Work hard. Your campaign might fail. I've had many a failure, but I keep getting back on the horse. I said I wanted to do 2 short films this year, but after the hard work of raising money, maybe not. Maybe I just leave it. But I might go back to it. I might go, okay, because I've got a story in my head that will not go away. And I'm like, oh, I'll write it out of my system and then it'll go away. So then I wrote it. I was like, oh, well, now I want to make it. So now I might have to make it to get it out of my system.
Oh, no.
But it's a very Black Mirror type thing. But yeah, that's my 3 tips.
Mine would be share your campaign. Like, I'd say that 3 times, to be fair. Just keep sharing it across multiple platforms. So your Instagrams, your Threads, your Blue Sky, every platform that you've got, just share it many, many times a day. Not just a cut and paste of the same, we're raising money. Change it, tweak it. You know, we're raising money to do a song for Faithful. We're raising money because we want a 5-piece orchestra to help with the song for Faithful. We're raising money for a closing credits music piece for Faithful. You don't want people going, oh, I've already seen that one. I'm not going to pay attention to it. Every time during a campaign, every time you put a posting out, put the link to your campaign. Always change it to a pinned tweet on your Twitter or whatever. Pin it to the top.
Yeah.
And leave it. How dare I what?
How dare you be sensible?
Exactly. Do that. Thank yous are nice. Again, it can be a collective thank you or another thank you. Do updates. And just don't get cocky is the biggest one. So if you happen to hit the 50% mark and you've got like 20 days left, don't go, I'll be fine. I can now go out for the weekend and go do stuff.
People can cancel their pledges.
They can. Yeah.
And then people can drop pledges. So even when your campaign's over, you've got $10,000. They still have to process all those pledges. And if someone's credit card details are wrong, or they've not updated it, or they've just decided, I can't actually afford that money anymore, you won't get it.
Mm-hmm. And especially Kickstarter.
Mm-hmm.
If you've hit your £10,000 target on Kickstarter and somebody cancels their £5 pledge just as your campaign's ending, you ain't getting anything. You're done. You're getting nothing.
So,
and I would think mentally get yourself in a place where you go, okay, I'm running a campaign through the month of July. So for July, I'm going to be exhausted. I'm going to spend so much time at the computer. I'm not going to go away for a week's holiday in July. I'll do it in August or June or whatever. I am preparing myself for the most exhausting, but also the most rewarding, if you hit your targets, experience. And then I'm going to just collapse and sleep. It is a marathon. They're exhausting.
To end, if you don't mind, I'm going to flip it on its head. And I'm going to speak to people who might consider backing a project on Kickstarter, crowdfunding, Indigo, whatever. So if you're one of these poor souls who are badgered of Twitter tweets going, I'm funding a film, I'm making a film, I need music, I need composers, I need musicians, I need a string quartet, I need a location, whatever, you might not think your $5 will help. You might not think your $10 will help, or whatever, but it will. A $5 in the long run feeds a crew member, or it pays a train fare, or it pays a taxi, or it pays whatever, or it buys a prop, or it buys a bit of costume. Every single bit of money, every pledge, every penny chucked in makes a difference. It lets us do what we want to do. We are in the UK in particular, we are in a really bad shape when it comes to TV and film. Currently, 68% of freelancers are at work. So we're twiddling our thumbs. So we are doing these, me anyway, and I can't speak for every filmmaker, but I assume it's the same, that we are doing this to open doors for us so we get to a position where we don't have to crowdfund anymore. Because I've done like 20 odd crowdfunding campaigns over my career. I want to be in a position where I don't have to do that anymore, and that some bigwig at Netflix or Disney go, "Hey kid, what are you doing? Here's some money." I want to be in that position. So in order for me to do that, I need to create the best possible work. In order for me to produce the best work, I need to hire the best people. To hire the best people, I need money. To get money, I have to come to you. So if you give me the money that I need, I can hire the crew, make the film, get out there, and take it to all the festivals. I'm probably going to have to run another one for festivals, probably, which will be fun. I can't wait. So, I'm going to have a very tiring July, but don't think that you're not helping. You are, and you are so very much appreciated.
It's like you've mentioned the small donations, and it's like even if I threw £2 in, I'll go, oh, £2. £2's not going to help Fraser. He needs like 6,000 or whatever. £2's not going to help. My £2 is not going to put you over the target. But imagine if there's like another, 1,000 people out there who I'm not going to bother throwing my £2 in because it's not going to help, is it? Yes, it will. It's the Mars bar thing. If I have a shop that sells Mars bars and they're like 10 pence each, I need to sell a lot of Mars bars, but if I do, I'm paying the rent. So all the sort of small amounts of donations and money does add up. So you skip a coffee, skip a magazine, skip a bar of chocolate. I can't, don't skip a bar of chocolate. I can't do that. It's too extreme. But skip something, bag of crisps.
I just want a Mars bar now.
And throw the money into a campaign.
And it is appreciated. Like it just is. Like don't think it's not. And I really hope like someone's watching this and they go, I'm going to go find a crowdfunding campaign and chuck some money. Just a hint. I'm running one right now on Indiegogo. Faithful Fairy Tale short film end title song.
You are, and the link is there. I'm going to point to there because I'm going to edit the link in when Fraser sends me this video later on. So it's here. It's in the show notes. Is it up there? Is it up there? Shall I put it at the top?
I don't know.
I'll put it there. I'll put it in both places.
And when I share it, I'll also hammer the link out. But yeah, no, I think this has been cathartic. It's been nice to talk about crowdfunding in a happy way. Yeah. It's also such a relief when you hit your goal and you can go. Yeah. And I know you don't rest on your laurels until it's over, but for me in particular, to know we had the money to pay everybody took a massive weight off my shoulders. To know that when an invoice hit my inbox, I could pay straight away. That was nice.
Yeah.
That was really nice.
So thank you to everybody who threw money your way into the whichever platform it was. I can't remember because you were running it. So
because I had to. One wasn't enough.
Yeah.
And that's another thing to consider as well. Don't run multiples at one time. That's madness. No. But if one's not working for you, try the other. You might have more. But anyway, I've said enough now. I want to rant about trolls.
But yeah, thank you to backers. That's what we say. You're awesome. And without that, we would get no short films with. I've got to say, the Dogs and Faithful. Spoiler, they're amazing. They're really cool.
Dogs. I'm gonna look just for the people here. So if I can find it.
Is it Dewey and Wiki? Is it Dewey and Wiki?
Wiki. Look, wait till you see this. Look at that dog.
Oh.
Now I don't share these photos very often, right? And it's because the visual effects aren't done on it yet.
I was gonna say this isn't the finished dog, is it? With the with the hula skirt. It could be set in Hawaii here, Fraser.
What we've done here is we've got a green LED. So on Lily, there's the when we add the green particles to the dog, it's half the work's already done for the visual effects guy because she's got the green light on her face.
Right.
And then we've done the same here. And then I'm not going to. There's a red light too, but I'm not going to explain that. But the dogs are just gorgeous.
They are so well trained as well. It's like obviously behind the scenes stuff I've been looking at, but they are on it. There's at one point you say to the dog trainer, they know when a camera's looking at them, and the guy goes, "Yep, they do," and you can see that on the behind the scenes thing. Somebody's taking a picture of the dog. Dog's like, "Yep, guess I'm on." It's amazing.
A really emotional scene near the end of the film, and something happens, and Lily's with the dog, and unprompted, the dog turns around and licks her nose.
Lucy talks about that in one of the behind the scenes thing. So I don't want to tell what the story is because it's funny in the behind the scenes thing, but her delivery of that particular scene was like pure director. It's like, oh yeah. It was amazing.
Claiming responsibility for that one, and more.
Yes, you did.
But because people gave us money, we could do that.
Yeah.
So, and anyway, you're talking about the dog, so I thought you should. But yeah,
they're amazing. Yeah.
right. Let's end this one.
Yes.
Let's start the next one.